The latest of these signs, pointing to acting as a herald of Maitreya, is a new star-like object which has appeared all over the world. Looks like a star, only bigger and brighter and nearer, tremendous brilliance and changing color and moving. But it appears as a star. When Jesus was born 2,000 years ago, a star appeared in the heavens, which, according to the Christian teachings, guided 3 wise men from the east to Jerusalem, Bethlehem actually, Bethlehem, the Holy Land, where they followed it every day, and it stopped over the birthplace of Jesus. Well, that was a star, but it wasn't a star, not a real star. Stars don't work like that. Are set in the heavens and billions of miles away. That star, the Star of Bethlehem, it was a spacecraft sent by the spiritual hierarchy to guide the 3 wise men and act as a sign. This has been repeated today, in which our spiritual hierarchy have arranged with our fellow humans on this solar system to have 4 such spacecraft, huge, enormous entities, which are posted throughout the world, so that wherever you are, you see a star, one star, which acts like I have described. We have reports from all over the world of this star, hundreds of them, and a few interviews on media, radio or television or press media about them. But what Maitreya really desires is an open discussion on the media worldwide about the star, what it is, because people don't know what it is. They see it, they report it, but it's an amazing object. They think, is it a UFO? Well, in a sense, it is a UFO, but it's a very specific one. It is the star, and the first so-called crop circles, which have been created for years all over the world, but especially in south of England, are created by our space brothers from the other planets, mainly from the planets of Mars and Venus. And the first crop circle created this year, many weeks ahead of the usual date when they appear, is, if you can see it, a star. That's a photograph of the first crop circle. And it was made by a spacecraft in a few seconds, I suppose, as they all are. It's hundreds of feet long, meters long, and is to remind those who need to know that this is the star, the herald of Maitreya, who is entering into public work. What will Maitreya talk about on television and radio? Well, obviously he will talk about the need for peace, the need for justice in the world. But how do we get justice? Maitreya says there is only one way to achieve justice in the world: to see the world as one, brothers and sisters of one humanity, and to share the resources of the world. Sharing is the key. Only sharing will produce the trust needed to end war forever. When we have sharing, we automatically have justice. When we have justice, we will have peace. Freedom, justice, sharing, and peace all go together. One comes out of the other. They're all part of the same divine plan for humanity. When enough people are responding to Maitreya, when humanity is calling for justice and peace and readiness to share, he will be asked to speak to the whole world on the linked television networks of the world. He will come on the television, everyone will see him, but Maitreya will not actually speak. Maitreya is omniscient, omnipresent, and he will create a telepathic link with every adult during the time of this broadcast. And each of us will hear his thoughts in our own language. So you will hear him in Japanese, the Chinese in Chinese, Russians in Russian, Americans in what they call English, Spanish in Spanish, and so on throughout the world. This will be the greatest experience that anyone living has ever had. It is called the Day of Declaration, when Maitreya will declare himself in his true status as the head of hierarchy, a friend, a brother of humanity, come to help humanity, show us the way. He will show how old humanity is, millions and millions of years old. He will show us past high points and the terrible plunge that we have taken today into this corrupt materiality. He will call on our humanity and on our divinity. One of the masters has said, people will feel again like little children, pure, trusting, full of the truth and the meaning and the love of life. That same master has said, humanity will walk on tiptoe for a time, so as not to spoil the quality of love, of belonging each to the other that they will experience. He will show the wonderful, brilliant civilization which waits our building. He will show this extraordinary new science which will give us unlimited and safe energy and all that comes from that. He will remind us that we are gods, in potential to be sure, but give us the feeling that we can become that divine being we essentially are. While this extraordinary experience is going on, Maitreya's energy will pour out in colossal force throughout the world. It will be an extraordinary experience. People will feel it even physically. This will invoke an intuitive, heartfelt response to his message. And on the physical plane, there will be hundreds of thousands of spontaneous miracle cures, healings throughout the planet. Our response to this appeal, this call from Maitreya, will determine the whole future of this earth. Thank you very much.
ありがとうございました。